Hi, my name is Jack Klosheim. I'm a pastor at Community Bible Chapel in Cooperstown, New York. And yes, Cooperstown is the home of baseball, of the Baseball Hall of Fame, as well as the birthplace of baseball. My wife Sue and I met Wayne and Susie at Word of Life in 2010. We were there for a pastor's weekend, and only by God's grace, amazingly, we're the only two pastors there. And so we had a little bit of time to spend together. And I got to hear about the vision of OIC and Wayne and Susie's passion for ministering biblical counseling around the world and seeing what God is doing through them. And we were excited by that. And so we invited them to come to our church and share that vision, which they did shortly thereafter. And the result of that was they invited us to come and serve with them in 2011. Sue and I went to Hungary to serve with them and the Hubers. And then this last summer, we went to the Philippines and had the dubious honor of pinch hitting for Wayne in the Philippines while he was in Japan and in China, drumming up some more places for OIC and you to go and serve by God's grace. And we're looking forward to hearing how those are coming along. Now, as I think about the time that I've served in the two places that we have gone to, I'm not sure that anybody benefited at all from my going there. Besides growing friendships with Wayne and Susie, and also privileged to meet and serve with and serve under Rod and Mary Huber in the Philippines, very dear friends to us. And besides then, met many people in the Philippines and in Hungary that we still keep close contact with and that we love on as we have opportunity to. But as I think about that time, our lives were enriched as a result of those deepening relationships that we have in serving in those places for Christ. One thing that God has taught us is that the gospel transcends every people group. Since the human heart is the same, no matter where you go, every human heart is touched by the gospel. And I know that as I'm speaking to you, that's a no-brainer, and you're probably wondering why I even brought that up. And it's funny, I spend lots of time preparing to go and serve, to teach at OIC in the two places that we have gone to teach biblical counseling. And my first thought is what I'm going to teach them. Really, both times I've gone, I really didn't have a thought at all as to how God was going to teach me through my going to serve. And so I didn't prepare for that at all. But that's exactly what happened. As a result of my going there, I came back richer than I was when I left. Not necessarily financially, but richer spiritually, richer emotionally, richer relationally, and had a richer ability and context of which to minister the gospel here in my little town of Cooperstown. Both Hungary and the Philippines taught us many different things about people in different cultures, taught us many things about ourselves as well. Too many to kind of work through with you here now. But here's the deal. Here's where you come into this picture. When I was first called to be a pastor at Community Bible Chapel, I had somebody come into my office, and I didn't have a clue really how to help them. I stumbled through it, did the best I could. But in the midst of that, I realized I needed some help. I needed some training. And so I was able to get in the car, drive to Indiana, receive some training, went successive years, received some more training, saw other conferences. I was able to dial in Amazon and get some books delivered to my door the next day. Other resources came along, were easy to get because we live here in America where all these things are easily found. But that's not the case around the world. Pastors, lay people in these other places where OIC is serving don't have that option or that privilege of getting in the car and driving to Indiana for the training they need. They need someone to come to them. And so that's where we come in. OIC is desperately needed in these other countries. Not just in teaching biblical counseling, because they can get some of that on video or on the internet, but they need someone to help them to integrate the principles of biblical counseling into their own context and their own national and cultural contexts. And so OIC is very much needed in the process of that, as well as developing then national organizations to help them continue training and continue growing in biblical counseling in their own places. And so you're needed. All of us are needed around the world. Well, God bless you all, and I pray that you have a great week of learning and fellowshipping, getting to know one another, and how God is going to use you and richly bless you through the ministry of OIC. And if you ever come to Cooperstown, please, and I say, with all my heart, please get my number from Wayne and call me. We would love to have you. Our boys are all already moved out of the house, and we have empty rooms, and we love to see them filled, and we love showing people our little corner of the world. So God bless.